Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is the first time that my portfolio has ever doubled in value. I have an over 100% return. Watch along to see what I did to get there and why I think there's room for even more. On the day, we can see I'm up. Over the past week, up nearly 23% or $4,500. Over the past month now, up 49% or just over $8,000. Over the past 3 months, up 74% or $10,000. Past year, up over $13,000 now, and all-time up 119% or $13,500. It has to do with Bitcoin. We will get there, but first I want to talk about the purchases and deposits I made this week. My total portfolio investment is now $11,300. The first purchase I made this week was one more share of SPHD at $37.29. Of course, I always try to buy at least a couple shares a month because I really like the dividend on this one. Second, I purchased one more share of O or Realty Income at $60.51. Same thing, I really like the monthly dividend on this one. Next up, I purchased 0.0017 more Bitcoin at a total cost of $50 there. My new position is now 0.314 Bitcoin, and the price there was $29,235.25. It just keeps going up every single week. Last, I purchased $10 more Ether. I purchased 0.01 there. My new position is just under 4% of an Ether, and the price there was $729.36. Over the past few weeks, I've talked a lot about my goals for dividends for this year, so I want to take a moment to talk about the outlook for my entire portfolio in 2021. First, we have the fact that both Value Line and Morningstar both say a 5% retraction in the market is likely this year. The implication here, my goal is to break even on my stocks for 2020, or rather 2021. As Warren Buffett likes to say, the worst thing you can do is lose any amount of money. Even if you don't have huge returns, you just can't lose money. The second fact is that both institutional investors and people in general are holding Bitcoin. And the implication here is that I believe Bitcoin will at least 5x from this point to a minimum of $200,000 at the end of this year. Well, I want to invest an additional $10,000 into the portfolio by the end of the year, and by January 1st of 2022, I want to have $200,000 in the portfolio. That's the end goal. I'm really excited for this. Sorry for the cheesy graphics, and I'll get back to the rest of the video. As always, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you'd like to see next. First stock for this week is going to be Sunrun. I keep talking about selling it, but the price continues to go up. We can see up almost 5% on the day. Over the past week now, up 35%. Past month, up 67%. It's just crazy that it's trading for $95. Over the past 3 months, only up about 25%. Over the past year, we can see it's over 5x'd, which is just crazy, and 5 years now up over 700%. That being said, total market value is now about $2,600. You can see on the day alone, I was up over $100. It now makes up over 10% of my portfolio. There is a strong buy rating here, but like I've said, I made a lot of money, and I just am thinking about selling it. That was largely due to the movement in the market, especially what's happening with the election. It's just been crazy, and I think it's time to sell Sunrun sooner or later. Next stock for today is going to be Penn National Gaming. We can see it's up over 166% for me now. Total return is coming up on $1,000, trading at 94 right now. Over the past month, it's up 22%, 250% over the past year, and over the past 5 years now, up 512%, which is crazy. This is largely due to the drop in earnings when it got really cheap, and then we saw a recovery, a bounce back even higher than the earnings were before. So people are very excited about that. We can see I bought a couple of shares. This is one that I'm really happy about, and I'm looking to expand past the 11 shares that I currently own. I think there's a lot of value here, and I really do like Barstool Sports. AT&T has not been a great stock for me. I have lost money on this one all time. It only makes up about 1.5% of my portfolio. That being said, I am down almost 10%, which is not great. Over the past month, we can see it is down about 1.5%. That's largely due to this gigantic drop off. It went from $30 down to about $29, or about 3% drop off. Over the past 3 months, it is up about 2%. Past year, it's down a ton, and past 5 years, it is down 15%. Dividend yield is pretty strong here, and the earnings are solid, even though they are sort of trending in the wrong direction. I think there's a lot to like about AT&T, but I think there's also a lot of question marks So I think I'm going to slowly purchase more shares, but I don't want to take any extreme action on a company like this one. Next up, we have JNK. I can't stress it enough, but I really like this one to try to balance out my portfolio, make it a little bit less risky, and sort of stick with these small but good returns. We can see it's up about 9.37%, which again isn't terrific, but the goal here is small, consistent returns. Over the past week, it is down just a smidge, but almost nothing at all. Past month, up less than 1%. 3 months, up about 3%. Past year, almost entirely flat. But then when you consider the 5% dividend yield, it's pretty good. In the past 5 years, it's only up about 7%. But again, the dividend yield is where you're going to make all your money here. And especially with the large crypto holdings in my portfolio, I think this has been a pretty good performer, especially with this price under $110. I think it's very affordable, especially for me looking to purchase stock every single week. Next up, we have Apple. They have performed extremely well since that stock split past last year. It's now trading for about $132, or up about $11 for me, 9%. Over the past week, we can see it's down about 1%. Past month, it's up a little bit. 3 months, up nearly 14%. Past year, up 78%. And over the past 5 years now, it has 5x growth. You'll love to see it, but obviously I wish I would have purchased shares much, much sooner. It makes up about 0.5% of my portfolio. The dividend yield is extremely low here. I've talked about it in the past, but there's a lot of room for growth with these tech companies. They're paying low dividends now, but a lot of people believe that those dividends will continue to increase slowly but surely every single year. We can see a pretty strong buy rating here on Robinhood at 58%. The earnings are a little bit all over the place, considering how well the company has performed in the stock price department. Let me know what you think about Apple. I think it's a fairly risky play, but I think the underlying assets of the company are pretty solid. Last but certainly not least, we can't skip Bitcoin. This is the bread and butter of my portfolio. This is where almost all of my gains have come from. I've now made over $9,300, and my total return is up 256% on Bitcoin. It makes up over half of my portfolio. The equity is now $12,960. Over the past week, we can see it's up a ton. Over the past month, up 118%. 286 over the past 3 months. Over the past year, up over 400%. And we zoom out to 5 years, we can see up nearly 10,000%. My personal belief is that Bitcoin is going to continue well past $100,000 by the end of this year. There's a lot of industry experts that disagree with that. Either way, there's a lot of people that believe Bitcoin is trending a lot higher, and now's the time to buy because you may not be able to get it under $100,000 6 months from now. It's sort of the FOMO, fear of missing out point. It's been really good for me, and as I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm now over 100% returns on this portfolio. That's it for this week. I'll be back with another video next week. Thanks.